In the dusty but proud lands of western Kenya, in areas of Mumias, Ugunja Musanda, and others, there's a silent crisis nobody talks about in public, but everyone complains about in funerals, weddings, and matatu queues. Schools have stopped being schools. They're now private companies with blackboards. Once upon a time, a school was where a child went to discover who they are, learn how to read, write, plant maize, fix a leaking roof, debate politics, sing in a choir, or make the perfect chapati. Now, a school is where you go to learn how to pass an exam and how to pay fees like you're buying shares at Safaricom. Schola, the artist who can draw a perfect portrait of Uhuru Kenyatta from memory, but whose teacher keeps shouting, "Art won't put ugali on the table. Concentrate on physics."
Never mind the fact that physics is the only subject that makes her feel like her brain is being microwaved. Frank, a mechanical genius who can hear a motorbike engine from 20 meters away and tell you which nut is loose. But the school thinks his future depends on knowing who discovered chlorine. He doesn't care. Silli, the natural comedian, can turn a boring Monday into a festival with one joke. But the principal says, if you don't stop making noise, you'll never succeed in life. Ironically, people who make noise in Kenya are the ones running rallies and getting paid millions. Beryl, the netball queen, she's led her team to county finals twice, but the school still treats games like a time waster. Netball won't get you an A, they say. Yet netball could get her a scholarship abroad, if only they knew. Helen, top of the class, but only because she memorizes everything. She can tell you all the elements in the periodic table, but if you ask her to bake a cake, she'll Google how to boil water. Otis loves farming, can grow the fattest tomatoes in the village. But the agriculture syllabus is so outdated it teaches him how to plow with oxen, not how to set up a greenhouse. Kevin, a natural leader, always mobilizing his classmates to clean the dorm or organize events. But leadership here is only recognized if you're the head boy, and the head boy is usually the teacher's pet. Nancy sings like she's swallowed a radio. Her voice can make people cry, laugh, or dance. But the school music festival isn't funded anymore because music isn't examinable. School fees, up like Nairobi rent. Extra development fees, constant. Remedial fees, non-negotiable. Motivation fees, a scam. They bring some random motivational speaker who talks about hard work while wearing a suit bought from the fees your parents just paid. Some schools even have penalty for late fees payment, as if parents are intentionally trying to audition for poverty. Here's the worst part. For all this money, they still give you only theory. They'll teach Schola about light rays in physics, but never how to set up a photography studio. They'll teach Frank about levers and pulleys, but never how to actually fix a car. They'll teach Otis about soil composition, but never how to brand and sell farm produce. By the time you graduate, you know how to write essays about unemployment, but not how to avoid unemployment. Back in the day, schools were community hubs. You could go in struggling and come out with a skill: sewing, carpentry, pottery, farming, debating, sports, singing. Now, they measure your worth with grades printed on A4 paper. If you're not in the top 10 in academics, you're treated like the school's public relations disaster. One day, Silli asked the deputy principal, "Sir, what if I'm not good in class, but I'm good in other things?" The deputy looked him straight in the eye and said, "Then you will fail in life." Yet just last year, that same deputy invited a local MP, a man who never passed his KCSE, to be the chief guest. That's why SCORESEAL Digital is pushing a different gospel, one that says, if school won't teach you the skills you need, teach yourself. We are talking about photography, art, design, content creation, mechanics, farming, public speaking. Real-world skills that pay rent faster than memorizing the definition of osmosis. Because at the end of the day, Schola's art, Frank's mechanic skills, Silli's comedy, Beryl's netball, Otis's farming, Kevin's leadership, and Nancy's music, these are not time wasters. These are the very things that could put ugali, sukuma, and even avocado on the table. One day soon, the very schools that ignored these students will be inviting them back as successful alumni, but not to celebrate their KCSE grades, to celebrate their skills. Until then, let's keep laughing through the madness, paying fees like we're buying a plot in Runda, and secretly building our own future outside the exam room. Grades are important, but skills are the only survival.